Good afternoon, good evening. I'm Dr. Maisha, and you are in the High Integrity Selling for High Performing Professionals, 4 shifts to 7-figure selling authentically. Now, let me tell you who this is for, okay? This is for health and medical professionals, high performing professionals who are coaches, who are consultants, who are in network marketing, who may have direct pay or cash based practices, who may have integrative medicine practices or uh, who have transitioned and have online courses or programs that they're trying to sell. And particularly if you have programs that tend to be higher ticket or higher priced and you desire to increase your revenue but are struggling to take it to the next level and struggling with the idea and concept of selling. Similarly, if you have some competency but you have some mindset blocks around selling, this webinar, this masterclass training is for you, okay? Now, so if you've been struggling with the idea of selling, let me tell you, it's okay. I used to feel this way as well. And what I found is that when I began to shift my context of selling, then that freed me up to be able to close high ticket 4, 5 figure clients in just one conversation. And we're going to talk about that today. If you have been avoiding sales, but you know it's the difference between you taking it to the next level and you staying stuck, then this is the perfect masterclass for you, because we're going to talk about what could be in the way and how you shift from being afraid of or having negative um, emotions around selling to being empowered by the process. If you're concerned about whether you can overcome these limiting beliefs or these mindset blocks and transform your business, let me tell you, it is possible. I have done it, I have helped other people do it, and all you need is the right set of shifts to be able to transform that conversation, therefore, by giving you access to transforming your business. So here's why you should listen to this entire masterclass. We're going to cover the 4 foundations to stepping into sales mastery and selling with high integrity. Now, before we do that, I want to share a little bit about who I am so that you know why the heck you should be listening to me in the first place. I am, by training, a board certified family physician in integrative medicine practice for 10 years. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what is a doctor doing teaching sales? Well, not only did I have a cash practice, but when I transitioned 3 years ago, I became the founder of the Stress Free Mom MD and the Next Level Physician Entrepreneurs Institute. Now, my background in sales and marketing came through my ownership of my practice and all of the sales and marketing training that I've had to do in the process. Now, when I first started my practice, I had no more interest or skill set in sales than some of the people who might be on this webinar tonight. I had the same context of selling is bad, I'm not good at it, all of these various things. But when you start an integrative medicine practice and then the next year the market crashes, a new paradigm opens up and you realize, and this is what happened to me, I began to realize that in order to transform my practice through a recession and grow it and be successful, I would have to learn these things and shift my context around it. So over the years, I have done multiple trainings in sales, multiple trainings in marketing, automation, and I've built, not only did I build my practice successfully through the recession, I was able to transition out and build another business company, this coaching and training company, completely from scratch in a completely new industry, using the same tools and tactics and strategies of marketing and sales and business development as I used to grow my integrative medicine practice so many years. So I have a facility, but it wasn't always that way. I'm also a 3-time author, 2-time Amazon bestseller, and I speak and train around the world in physician wellness, career transition, physician entrepreneurship, marketing, mindset, and sales. Now, my coaching background is I'm a master in neurolinguistic programming, also known as NLP, and primarily I traffic now in business and entrepreneurship coaching and marketing, automation, and sales. But at the core of me, like why I do this, because I'm always telling people you got to be connected to your why. At the core of who I am the possibility, and I stand for the possibility of being passionate, being on purpose, and having the ultimate freedom. And that's why I do what I do. So, you know, I am a proud mom. And as you can see here, this is actually an old picture. I need to update it. But this is a picture of my boy. The younger one is my boy, and the older one is my adopted son. And we are a happy pair, a happy threesome. And so, you know, I one of my whys, one of the reasons I do this is to be able to empower other medical professionals to have the freedom to be with their families, to be with the ones they love, and to do what they love to do. So I have this great life, and I love teaching sales, and I love teaching marketing, and I love empowering medical entrepreneurs and high performing professionals in entrepreneurship. But I have to tell you that it wasn't always this way for me. You see, I was in traditional practice before I transitioned. And, I actually experienced burnout a couple of times in my career. And particularly what's present for me is that the very first time I realized that medicine was going to not be the ultimate end point for me. The first time I realized that I would have to really create a career by my design. And I remember it was the day after a call, my second year in residency, I was on OB call. And you know how sometimes you're in your life, in your career, you get to this point where you feel like you're just pushed up against a wall and you can't breathe. And that's really how it was for me. Like I really just couldn't breathe, And I remember thinking to myself, I didn't sign up for this. Here I've spent $150,000, and that's on the low end, I know, but that was back in the day. I'm aging myself, right? So here I am. I spent $150,000. I spent 8 years, 9, 10 years of my life in this training, and I come to find out this is not what I signed up for. And so, I came home that night after call, and I was done. And when I say done, I don't mean like done with my medical career. I meant done with life. And I had this bottle of Percocet that I had left on the nightstand from a surgery that I'd had a couple of months ago. And I'll tell you guys, I had not taken one pill because that's not really who I was. I didn't like to take medicine. But as I stared at those pills, I stared at that bottle of Percocet, I was really ready to throw it all back. And just before I swallowed those pills, I heard a voice in my head. And that voice said to me, not like this. And so, from that point on, the next morning I was able to make it through the night. And I'm so grateful that I had the pause to hear that voice in the back of my head, because I have so many colleagues who didn't. And from that point on, I knew that I would have to create my career by my design. And I would really have to find what it was that I loved and find what it was that I enjoyed doing, find my purpose, find my passion, so that I could survive in this career, so that I could thrive in this career. So fast forward, I've complete my residency. I, go on this search inside of my career to find exactly what it is that lights me up. And I knew from the point that I was in medical school that integrative medicine was one of those things. So I went out into the world after residency, did some traveling, worked in New Zealand for 6 months, looked under the hood of multiple types of practices in my locum tenens work. And so I worked in large group, small group, HMO, urgent care, worked in all manner of practices to get what is the type of practice that would fulfill me. What is my ideal practice? And guess what? It led me to my integrative medicine practice. And so from that point, I decided I'm starting my integrative medicine practice. I started the practice in 2007. Like I said earlier, 2008, the market crashed. And what it caused me to have to do is to look at where were my deficiencies in business? Where were my deficiencies in marketing? Where could I get creative and so that I could effectively grow this cash-based practice, but with integrity, with authenticity? What could I contribute to the community? And that's where I began to learn this way of authentic marketing, this way of authentic sales and high integrity sales, and being able to be in conversation with my patients in a way that empowered them, but also helped me to grow my practice. And so my commitment is to help physicians, medical professionals, other high performing professionals in specialties who are stepping into entrepreneurship to find the same fulfillment that I found in my career and achieve the same results, minus the struggle that I've experienced in my journey along the way. That is why I do what I do. So enough about me. What we're here to do is to erase the guilt and shame and the fear around selling. How would you like that? Wouldn't that be great? To eliminate the confusion and useless strategies that you hear about, read about trying to convince people to buy. Nobody wants to convince anybody to buy, right? You want people to come effortlessly to you. We're going to get rid of the overwhelm with trying to keep up with the people who you've previously tried to enroll in your products, your services, your practice, and talk about the systems that you can set up to make this an effortless process. And we're going to really transform your conversation about selling so that you can be empowered that you're doing it effectively and with integrity. And finally, we're going to show you how to close the perfect clients for you. What is it that you need in order to be able to close the perfect clients for you? Ones that want and have the means to pay for your products and services. Okay, so you can be confident in your value and the transformation that you provide, allowing you to have clients excited to buy from you after even a single call or a single interaction, even when your offer might be thousands of dollars in value. Okay, so let's talk about this. We're going to create a system that allows you to make money while you sleep. That is a system that has you not chasing clients, but has clients flowing into you. We're going to talk about this inside of the 4 foundations to sales mastery and high integrity sales. Okay, so let's jump right on in. So the first foundation, the first shift that you need to make is you need to get your mind right. Okay, you've got to get your mind right. So what's your reaction to selling? Is this you when it comes to sales? Or maybe this is you. Like when you hear the word selling, like that is what comes across your mind. This is all our conditioning. So you want to start to get present to what is your conditioning? What are the things that you've been told about, number one, about the process of selling, and what are the things that you've adopted or inherited about your own capacity to sell or your own value? So some people, they fear sales, or they have an adverse reaction to sales because of their previous experience. Their previous experience. So I'm talking about how many of you have experienced buying a car, right? Of course, we're talking about how many of you have experienced that timeshare salesman. I can share with you some stories about the timeshare salesmen. I mean, these are sales experiences that are intense, that are sometimes that intense and aversive and leave you feeling kind of yucky inside. And what happens is that we then begin to feel like our selling will come off like that to others. And, if you've ever experienced the people knocking on your door, and I don't know, this might age me a little bit, but when I was a child and some people, like there'd be salespeople or there'd be, the door-to-door spiritual people who wanted to come in and read us a certain something, my parents would, it's like the close the shades and duck behind the sofa type of deal, like don't answer the door. And and so what happens is if you've ever experienced that, then you kind of get the feeling like you're going to be that person that everyone's running from. But if you're doing it the right way, and we're going to talk about this later on, then that actually is not you're going to be your experience. So what you're working off of is an old view. You're working off an old view, not even yours. It's an inherited view, okay? So let's talk about your value. Let's talk about the mindset around, oh, maybe what I've got is not worth what I'm asking, or maybe I shouldn't be selling, or maybe as a doctor, or maybe as in this profession, it's wrong to be selling. There are conversations that come up around that. And even, am I expert enough? Do I know enough? There are people who are more experienced than me. These are all of the various conversations that come up when we start to think about ourselves getting out there and selling, that self-doubt. Now, if you're in the medical profession, you spent decades, most likely, training and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's the thing, you heal people daily. You save lives daily. You know what you know. And so you are experienced enough. You do have the value. All of that is there already. And all you have to do is begin to get that you are a purveyor of transformation. You just need to recognize your own value. And when you begin to recognize your value and the value of that transformation that you're about to provide through your product or your service or your coaching or through your medical practice, then you can feel more confident in what you're asking for what you're asking for compensation. Okay, so you got to stop hiding from who you are as a purveyor of transformation, as a contribution for the world. You got to stop hiding from who you are and begin to let go of those limiting decisions that are distorting your view of what's possible, right? Because when we hold on to those limiting decisions, those limiting beliefs, those old conversations about selling, those old inherited views that we got from our parents or from society about selling, those limiting decisions about your worth, then you are shrinking your view of what's possible. Because in your process of sales, in your process of selling, you are providing possibility to the people you're about to transform. Okay, so start to get the remarkable contribution that you bring to the world when you let go of those limiting beliefs, when you let go of those negative emotional triggers about selling. Then you really begin to step into the contribution that you are and that you bring to the world through your product, through your service, through your practice. Okay. So your thoughts create your experience. And when you adopt a new mindset, then you will produce new results. And that's the first foundation, probably one of the most important to high integrity sales and to seven-figure selling, is knowing, getting out of your own way, getting that mind right, okay? So now the second shift or the foundation to sales mastery is really just understanding the secret language of sales, okay? And let me tell you the secret language of sales. This is the seven-figure secret that the pros know and use to close their high ticket clients in one conversation. This is what they know. They know this baseline language of sales. You ready for it? You ready? It's not the used car salesman approach, but it's knowing that sales is simply a conversation. But not just any conversation, an enrollment conversation. So really, the mystery is not a mystery. See, think about it. You're selling every single day in just about every single moment. When you're selling to your friends, when you tell your friends about a good restaurant that you've been to, guess what? You're selling to them. When you're talking to your family, especially if you're a parent or if you are talking to a parent and you are telling them about this great new thing that you bought and how great, like I'll tell you, a story is I bought this. Okay, you guys, I'm about to show how granola I am. I bought this almond milk making machine. So I make my own almond milk and for my son and myself. And this machine was not cheap. In fact, this machine I would say it is the Vitamix of almond milk machines. Cost, upwards of $550 or so, right? So you're probably like, what, $550 for an almond milk machine? But yes. So I bought this machine and it is the bee's knees. For any of you guys who make almond milk, you gotta get one. It is the easiest thing to use. You just dump your almonds in there and then it goes through a butter making cycle first, and then you throw the water in there and you mix it and it strains it out. There's no cleanup, there's no mess. And let me tell you, I raved about this thing to my dad, who also makes his own almond milk, and my cousin, and took a video of it and showed it to them. And guess what? They were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get me one." You think I didn't just sell that to them? I mean, you're probably looking it up on Amazon right now. So if you drink almond milk, if you're tired of all the squeezing of the mesh, and those of you who drink straight milk and you don't know what I'm talking about, you could just you know think about just picture someone grinding up almonds and squeezing the mesh by hand, squeezing the milk out by hand every single week, and then converting that to a simple process that involves none of that, and you get the world of it, right? So even those people who don't make almond milk are probably like, I might need to check this out. My point is, anytime that you're exchanging like that, you're raving about some product that you bought, you are selling, right? You're selling to your kids. How many of you have to convince your kids to eat their vegetables? And you come up with these creative ways to sell them their vegetables. Some parents go as far as making the sandwiches in little shapes, or putting little toppings on the vegetables, or creating these little creative ways to serve, or even sneaking them and stuff, and cajoling and giving kisses and hugs. That's selling. You sell to your kids, and guess what? You sell to your patients too. So for the medical professionals out there who see patients, guess what? You're seeing, and especially the doctors out there, you're seeing 20 to 25 patients a day. Inside of those visits, you are making recommendations. And in the conversation, you somehow convince the patient to take that recommendation, to take a prescription if needed, or to make a lifestyle change based on just your recommendation in 15 to 20 minutes. And then they go, and most of them will do so. They'll be empowered to do so because they're enrolled in their health. So you're selling patients. You think you guys are not salespeople? You are great salespeople. You're always selling. And it really is just a conversation. Okay. And there's a particular nature to the conversation when you're talking about selling products that are a little bit more high ticket. And that's the enrollment that's coming in. This is one of the things, one of the breakdown in the sales conversation is one of the things I teach in my sales course, which I'll talk to you guys about later. But you got to know that you're always selling. And so, when you get that, when you master the conversation of sales, when you master objections, because that's the other thing people are afraid of. Oh, what if they say no? Or what if they don't want to buy? What if they don't? Look, objections will come all the time. Think about it. If you're in the office and you make a recommendation to a patient and they're like, "Oh, I'm not buying it." You then answer all the questions that need to be answered in order to have them be empowered to take that step. Well, that's all objections is. And so when we start to shift the conversation about the objections and we learn specifically how to deal with, which is another thing that I teach very specifically in my programs, then that then sales will begin to demystify, and there'll be a sense of ease and even fun because you're really just having a conversation, okay? And when you shift into ease, the resistance to buy that you maybe usually see or used to see in your potential clients, our patients will fade away easily, but not because of them, because of you. All right. So you got to understand the language of sales and understand that it's just a conversation. Now, the third foundation to sales is you need to have a sales system, sometimes called a sales pipeline. You need to have a sales system, okay? So the key to having a strong foundation for growth in your business is to have an effective sales pipeline. Now, we talk about a sales pipeline or a sales system. What I mean is a system that allows you to collect information from prospective clients and then nurture them through the sales process with some level of automaticity that helps you to leverage your time, okay? So the sales pipeline automates your business and are the key to leveraging your time and duplicating yourself. And when you are leveraging your time through using sales systems, you can then focus on what you do best, what you love to do, the things that truly need your attention, okay? Now, I'm talking about sales systems, but I want to talk a little bit about marketing in the process. Sales is really one tactic inside of a full marketing strategy. And so when I talk about sales systems, part of the sales system is part of a bigger marketing strategy. And it's important that you understand that sales is a marketing tactic and there are other marketing tactics that you can use, but sales is always going to be a part of that marketing tactic, right? And you want to make sure that you have a sales strategy before you start throwing tactics into the wind. Sometimes what we do is we confuse the tactic for the strategy. So we just go out there and we start doing a bunch of tactics with no overall organized strategy or structure to it. So while I am talking about having a sales system and a sales strategy, so you can leverage your time and focus on what you do best, you definitely want to have a marketing strategy that encompasses this sales strategy, because the strategy is the thing that's the pathway that gets you from A to Z. And it's very important. Again, it's another thing that I do teach in my marketing mastery masterminds. And you can always, I'll tell you how you can get in touch with me if you're interested in that later. But you just need to know that the sales strategy is encompassed inside of a broader, bigger marketing strategy, okay? And sometimes, you may know a little bit about marketing, but you may not, and you may need help with that as well, okay? Now, once you have a good sales strategy, the sales system or pipeline is actually the structure that helps you to organize and keep you on track, all right? So the importance of a sales system or a sales pipeline is that it takes you from having to chase clients to effortlessly attracting them. And it's really the same thing with a marketing system, right? It takes you from chasing clients and from having to micromanage every single little aspect of your strategy to having most of it be on autopilot so that, again, you can focus on the things that truly need your attention. The other thing about automation, sales automation, and marketing automation is that it gives you the pathway to exponential growth. We always talk about in our business, what's the long-term vision for growth? How will you scale your business to the next level without actually burning yourself out? Because obviously one of the reasons you are going out on your own and you're in entrepreneurship is to transition yourself to a place of freedom. And automation gives you access to that. If you're a solopreneur, if you're trying to do it all yourself, you're capping the potential for growth in your business. But when you create a system of automation, whether it be an online system, an offline system of automation, or a combination of the two, right? And in the marketing mastermind that I teach, I talk about how you put both your online automation system in place as well as your offline, like your team, the team, building a great team around you so that you can actually be freed up to do the things you need to do to grow your business and to be able to provide whatever service that service or product that you're providing. So it puts you on autopilot, which frees you up and gives you access to be able to duplicate yourself and exponentially grow your business. So that's the third foundation to seven-figure selling, is to have a great sales pipeline, a great sales system in place. Okay? And now the fourth foundation, the fourth thing that you must do in order to reach that sales mastery is to invest in yourself, invest in sales training. Okay? Now, I know that we tend to be do it all by ourselves type of people as high-performing professionals, right? But here's the thing, no problem can be solved from the same consciousness that created it. And it's one of my favorite quotes from Einstein. You see, we can go on to YouTube, we can go on to Wikipedia, we can listen to audiobooks, we can read books, and we can acquire a lot of knowledge in sales. We can do it in marketing. But here's the thing, knowledge alone makes no difference, right? You might have read sales books before. Some of my favorites are Jim Rohn and Brian Tracy. You may have done it before, but if you're on this webinar, it may be because you still have a block somehow and you haven't been able to convert that knowledge into actual results. So knowledge alone doesn't make any difference. Let's take it out of the realm of business and marketing. How many people know how to lose weight? It's managing the metabolisms. In eating clean, healthy movement, and managing the hypothalamic, hormone and neurotransmitter system so that your metabolism is optimized. That's how you get your weight off. But yet, there are still people out there who know and empowered what to do, but they're not doing any of it. They don't go see a doctor when they need that metabolic reset. They're not eating the way they're supposed to, and they're not exercising, but they know that's what they're supposed to do. Same thing with quitting smoking. How many people know that smoking kills, that smoking is toxic? But yet the knowing makes no difference because they still continue, these same amount of people still continues to smoke, right? Even though there are lots of therapies out there that help them to get over that addiction, okay? And so the reason this is the case is because when you're the fish in water, you're too close to the situation to see the hook in the ocean, all right? So we have blind spots, and we all have blind spots. Everybody has blind spots. And that's why investing in some type of mentorship or mastermind or sales coaching expand your capacity to take that skill to the next level and produce results more quickly. Sure, you can produce results on your own, but how long will it take you when you're trying to implement knowledge with no actual guidance or feedback from anyone else? But when you have that feedback from a mentor, a mastermind, or coach, you have that accountability. And guess what? This is the difference between results someday and results now, right? So these are the four foundations. You got to invest in yourself. You got to invest in a sales training, course, mastermind program, because guess what? People think that I got to where I am, just by luck? No. I did trainings. I had coaches. I had all kinds of help. I had friends in the marketing and sales space. I had mentors. I had all kinds of things that got me to this place. And it took years, years and tens of thousands of dollars to get to this place. And that's why, I do what I do, because I like to shorten that span for those others who I can, especially in my industry, my colleagues, because it is very, very clear that times are shifting, times are changing. And as medical professionals, we are waking up to there is more possible than only being a clinician, only being an academician, only being in research. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we know that times are shifting in medicine, and we have awakened that there is something different that we must do now. And so in order to be able to do these things now, build these new businesses, produce these new results, replace your income, you need to have the training and the guidance and the coaching to be able to do that in the time that you want to be able to do it, not someday maybe. Okay. So those are the 4 foundations. And we talked about, transforming the conversation about selling. All right. We talked about what it takes to close the perfect clients for you, the ones that want and have the means to pay for your products and services. That's really recognizing that there's a conversation, that sales is just a conversation. We talked about what it takes to be confident in your value and the transformation that you provide, like getting out of your own way and really dealing with the limiting conversations that you have about sales and selling. We talked about how to have clients excited to buy from you after a single call, even when your offer is thousands of dollars in value. That's through the enrollment conversation, okay? We talked about how we can eliminate the fear, guilt, or shame around selling. And we talked about how you can eliminate the confusion and useless strategies to convince people to buy, because guess what? Sales is a conversation, not a strategy. I mean, it is a tactic, but it's a conversation. And we talked about the sales pipeline, which eliminates the overwhelm with trying to keep up with all of this, keep up with all of the various parts of your sales process, and duplicate yourself and organize yourself. Okay? These are the 4 foundations. You got to get out of your own way and get your mind right. You got to understand the language of sales. You need to have a solid sales pipeline or sales strategy or sales system. And you need to invest in yourself and get some sales training. Okay? So now you have a choice. Okay? You have a choice. You have these 4 foundations. And these foundations are an overview of the steps that you need to take. And so you can begin to take this and move in a different direction from which you came, right? Move in a more empowered direction around sales. Choose the next step in building your sales mastery. Or you could take this as another free webinar that you put on the shelf. They talk about self-help as actually being shelf help. So this could be shelf help, or this could actually be an access to taking your sales to the next level. All right. And so inside of that, I want to show you something that I've developed to really help take medical professionals and high-performing professionals into that next level of sales mastery. So if that's okay, can I show you what I have put together? And you get to choose. All right, so first of all, before I go to this, I want to kind of talk about who this program is for, right? So this program is for people who have an entrepreneurial mindset, who are ready to generate that 6- and 7-figure income, who work with a foundation of integrity. Remember, this is high integrity selling, who are 100% responsible for being at the source of your life, committed to do the work, internal and external, that it takes to create those next level results, and are ready to produce those results now. So this is for people who like to take action consistent with what you say you want and who are willing to invest in themselves to get the results that you say you want. All right? Now, who this is not for is people who have not even started a business, right? And if you haven't started a business yet, but you're interested in this conversation, you might want to book a call with me. People who are wantrepreneurs, they say they want to build a business, but they don't want to do the work that it takes. People who are someday maybe, yeah, like I'll grow my business someday, maybe. Those people who are content to treat your business like a hobby, this may not be for you, okay? And then those who are not willing to be responsible for being at the source of their life and their results and are not ready to invest in themselves to get those results that they say they want. So if this is you, this may not be the program for you, okay? Now, let's talk about what the benefits from being in a program like this. Number one, you really get to discover and uncover what you're passionate about. Because even though this is sales, we go into those conversations that empower you around your passion. You get to uncover that. You get to create a business that you love on your terms. Because once you really connect to the ease and the and demystify selling, you begin to love what you do more, even more, right? You get to leverage your time, and that way you're earning more, working less hours. That's from the systems that we set up. You also get to learn from someone who not only knows selling, knows marketing, knows business, but understands the challenges of our profession and the conversations and languages of our profession. You get to create a system and a structure of accountability that ensures your success, and you get to be with a community to support your forward movement. So those are some of the benefits of the program that I'm about to show you. All right. So this is Stepping into Sales Mastery, an online course designed for medical professionals, but applicable to even those outside of that. So if you're a high-performing professional, if you're an attorney, if you are a health coach, if you are you're a physician, you're a dentist, you're a pharmacist, and you're ready to step into sales mastery, you can step into this course as well, because the principles in this course are applicable to more than just the medical profession, okay? So I just want to say that in case there are any non-medical professionals who are on this masterclass interested in sales today. All right, so let me tell you what you're going to get inside of this course, all right? So the first thing you're going to get is a 7-figure sales online mastery curriculum. This is a step-by-step how you go through the sales process. It goes through the underlying conditioning that stops us. You get to do the work on your own conditioning, and then we go into the language of sales, the 5-step sales process, and we go into the sales conversation. So the curriculum covers a lot of those basic principles of sales. So then we begin to unlock the mystery of persuasion and the secret language of sales. So that's part of the program, unlocking the mystery of persuasion and what's underneath that, as well as the secret language of sales. In the course, you get some mindset mastery, overcoming your fear and resistance to selling, working through that so that you can become powerful and confident in who you are as a person who sells, so you can become confident in your product, confident in your ability, and release the resistance and the fear and the blocks that you have to selling. We're going to take you through the 5-step sales process, all right, so that you know exactly what are the components to an effective sales process. And then you're going to get the ultimate client getting conversation script, all right? So this is whether you're selling one-to-one, whether you're selling one-to-many, whether you're selling from the stage, whether you're consulting business to business, you're going to get the basic script, the basic client getting conversation that you can modify to your own industry and your own situation, because you'll know the breakdown of this conversation. You're going to get the blueprint to handling any objection that comes your way. Now, the benefit of having this objections blueprint is that you will then be confident in any objection that someone has to say to you. And you'll not only be confident in it, you will invite it on because you know that objections is just part of the process of selling, and you will eliminate any negative emotion or adverse reaction to objections. It'll have you be very powerful in your handling of objections. Okay, and the objections, and for those of you who don't know, those are the I don't I want to think about it, or I can't afford it, which is the biggest one. I can't afford it, or the I don't have time, or I need to talk to my my spouse, or I don't know if I'm able to, like, I don't know if I can. Like, there's all of those types of objections that we're going to show you exactly how to handle, what to say, what they mean. We're going to break it all down for you. And then during the course, you'll have the opportunity to have conversation mocks to boost your confidence and skill. All right. So inside of the course, there's also a private community. All right. That private community will be where you do your mocks, where we will have live trainings with hot seat coaching and expert tips from myself and other people who I work closely with, who will give you sales tips. And you'll also get tips on how to use these sales tactics in negotiation, and on selling from the stage, in consulting. And again, this is all high integrity selling. So there's no sliminess or griminess inside of this sales process. This is authentic selling with high integrity. That's what this is. And then we're going to do an introduction primer to automation and setting up your sales system and your sales pipeline. All right, so we're going to help you get that started and get that set up. So just to give you a sense of the value of this, you're getting the online sales curriculum, the Secret Language of Sales primer, the Mindset Mastery coaching and modules, the 5-step sales process, the ultimate client getting conversations and scripts. You're getting the objections handling training, your live trainings and conversation mocks, your automation and sales masterclass, your negotiation and selling from the stage bonus tips. And that total value is $12,176. And you all, I will tell you, I have seen sales programs that are upwards of $10,000 to $12,000. But here's the deal. I'm not going to charge you $12,000 for this course. All right. In fact, I'm going to add some bonuses in there. When you purchase during the promotion that we're having over the next 3 days, I'm going to add in a detailed feedback of one of your actual record sales calls with recommendations. You'll get a one-on-one sales strategy session with me. And I always like to drop mystery surprise bonuses that are only revealed to the people who actually come on board. All right. So in addition to that $12,000, I'm adding that $12,000 value. I'm adding your detailed feedback of a live coaching session, your free one-on-one strategy call, and your mystery box bonus surprise for an additional value of $2,500, almost $2,600. Okay, so this is of immense value, a total value of $14,767. And like I said, y'all, I'm not going to charge you $14,767, all right? Because I want this to be accessible. Your investment is just $19.97. That is your investment for the course. And look, if you know that you are ready to take it to the next level, I'm throwing an extra incentive for those of you who purchase now while we're on this webinar within the next 30 minutes. I'm taking off over $1,000. That's $1,100, and your investment today is only $897. That's major. We're talking a program that most easily pay $10,000 for. Okay, but you're only paying $897 if you jump in right now in the next 30 minutes, and only $1997 if you catch the 3-day promotion that we're doing. All right. So there won't be another offer like this. All right, so you want to go ahead and jump in now. You want to go ahead and jump in now. Now, if you're uncertain, you're saying to yourself, well, I think the sales course is for me, but do I really need the marketing as well? If you're saying to yourself, I really like the sales course and I really want to get in on the sales course, but I'm thinking I might need the marketing as well, I invite you to go ahead and jump into the sales course and then book a strategy call with me. Go ahead and book a 45-minute strategy call with me. And you can do that by going to stressfreemomMD.com/booking. All right. And the purpose of the call is to get clear about what's not working and why, to get clarity about what you want and what's next, and to uncover the potential pathways of getting from where you are to where you want to be, and then to be able to learn how we can help you get there, whether it is just the sales course that you need, or whether you may need an additional marketing strategy course or strategy session, or even join us in the marketing mastermind. All right, so you can go ahead, book your strategy call with me. If you have questions about the sales course and whether it's the right time or the right course for you right now, if you think you need more than the sales course, like the marketing course, then I invite you to go ahead and jump into the sales course and then book a strategy call with me to see if there's some other way that we can help you as well. All right. So, one of my favorite songs these days is by Ciara, Level Up, Level Up, Level Up. And so you have to choose for yourself the time to level up is now, right? The time to level up is right now. And there's a poem that I love to read by Portia Nelson. It's one of my favorite pieces. And I tend to read it at the end of each talk that I do because it's very empowering and it's very telling of how we sometimes go about life. Okay, so I invite you to jump into the Stepping to Sales Mastery online course. All you have to do in order to do that is to click. You should see a link right on your screen, and that link has been there for a minute. You can go ahead and click that link to join the Stepping into Sales Mastery online course now, and go ahead and become a next level physician. All right. And of course, if you want to have a call with me, you can go to stressfreemomMD.com/booking. All right. So I'll read this poem and then we will conclude the masterclass for tonight. Autobiography in 5 Short Chapters by Portia Nelson. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault, and I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down another street. And my invitation to you, or my question to you, is when will you choose to walk down another street? Thank you for joining tonight's masterclass. I look forward to speaking with you, to seeing you in our course, and I look forward to seeing the results that you produce in the next 30 to 60 days as we work together. Have a great rest of your day and rest of your week. Namaste.